News Tonight this Sunday. Coping with the cold and coping and coping. The bitter weather that just won't let go of the Northeast. Paula Jones raises the stakes less than a week before the president's deposition. And an historic tobacco agreement could be near in Texas.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight, Sunday. From atop ABC News World Headquarters in New York, here's Carol Simpson.
Good evening. It is the worst ice storm to hit the Northeast. They're used to hard winters there, but this weather system is testing the limits of even the hardiest. Hundreds of thousands are still without power in New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. Temperatures there are expected to be in the single digits tonight, and Maine's governor is urging people without power to go to shelters. ABC's Bob Woodruff is in Maine.
In Maine this morning, the sun came out and stayed all day, giving power crews a chance to put in new poles and clear ice-covered branches from the old ones. It is dangerous work.
As we were working, there's stuff falling all around you. That ice comes down in pretty big chunks. Hard hat.
210,000 people are still without power in South and Central Maine. In front of Dick Daniels Auto Body Shop, the poles fell like dominoes.
It sounded like thunder. I thought there was a lightning storm taking place because we saw a big flash, and then immediately right after that we had thunder. But it was the poles crashing and breaking.
The devastation is everywhere. Whole forests bent by the weight of the ice. But this ice took down more than poles and trees. The top of this radio tower snapped right off and now sits broken and twisted in this field, and it will be a long time before it's repaired. In Vermont and New Hampshire, 39,000 people still don't have electricity. In Watertown, New York, the problem is flooding, and today they also got snow. More than 7,000 people are still out of their homes. Federal assistance is coming in as people line up to get food from distribution centers like this one. And the power company tries to coordinate more than 2,000 workers. For the Northeast, it could be weeks before the last traces of this storm are finally cleaned up. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Sanford, Maine.
Further north in Canada, more than 11,000 soldiers have been called out to clear away fallen tree branches and help utility workers restore power. It's being called Operation Recuperation, and it's Canada's biggest ever deployment of troops on home soil. ABC's Bill Redeker is in Montreal.
It was cold in Montreal today, really cold, only a few degrees above zero, making it that much more difficult to clean up this devastated city. 1 million households are still without power.
Heaven, heaven and earth.
At St. Augustine's Parish, in one of the most heavily damaged neighborhoods, no power here either. But that didn't stop Father Paul Sauvé from holding services for the huddled and bundled masses.
Big, big hug.
For an entire week now, the church and rectory where Father Paul lives have been without power, light, and heat. He is one of the victims of the ice storm, but he doesn't see himself that way.
It's difficult, but fun, because we do have our fireplace here that we can use. We can cook on it. We can keep a little bit of the rectory warm.
You sound like this is just a passing adversity, no big deal.
Sure, there will be the resurrection. Yeah?
Father Paul's parishioners say his spirit and his optimism have been a godsend.
It's tough right now, you know, in this situation, and it's good to have someone here to help us get through it, you know.
It's really encouraging because Father Paul can make things really funny.
His ministry extends beyond his cold church, beyond his paralyzed neighborhood. He ministers at evacuation centers as well.
We're learning through disasters like this that we're not independent. We are so dependent on one another.
And that may be why Canadians are coping so well during these very difficult times. Bill Redeker, ABC News, Montreal.
Still ahead on World News Tonight Sunday, a country where they're literally praying for snow and cold. 3 young ladies figuring to take over Japan. And the driving force behind the most expensive movie ever made.
This is World News Tonight, Sunday. Brought to you by Pantene Pro V.
Gentlemen, I'm going to read you your rights. You had the right to be strong, to be healthy, to shine. The right to make your own choices. And when it comes to your hair, you have the right to choose Pantene Pro V. The Pro Vitamin formula gets in there, penetrating root to tip, improving it all. It helps keep your hair healthy, shiny, strong. Pantene Pro V, for hair so healthy, it shines. It's the right stuff.
I understand you got a bug problem.
Daddy! I want you to meet my friends. Dad, phone call. Who's the IRS?
Sir, is this your son?
Hey, is this your dog?
Your life is full of worries. Your car shouldn't be. Get a Chevy Lumina. It's reliable, comfortable, and it's one less thing to worry about.
Sir, is this your house?
Heck, Lumina can even save you $1,000.
Sir?
Teddy Gibbs can't let a sore throat stop him, even when it feels this raw. He toughs it out through the hacking cough, the aches, the fever. But when the job is done, he's desperate for relief. Fast, powerful Theraflu relief. With the first sip of that soothing, lemony hot liquid, he feels comfort instantly. Soon, his throat feels calmed, his cough quieted, his chills warmed. Maximum strength Theraflu. Instant comfort. Powerful relief.
It's going to be an anxious week at the White House as President Clinton gets ready for his upcoming deposition in the sexual harassment suit brought by Paula Jones. ABC News has learned that Jones is increasing her demands for a settlement to more than $2 million plus an apology. The president's lawyer has said all along the president won't apologize for something that didn't happen. Here's ABC's Sam Donaldson.
When Paula Jones filed her original suit against President Clinton back in 1994, she told Prime Time it wasn't about money.
What do you want from Bill Clinton?
A public apology. That's all I've asked for in the first place, was an apology.
Well, you've asked for $700,000 in cash money.
Well, that's, and if there's any money whatsoever left over after the legal expenses are paid, that will go to a charity.
In fact, sources friendly to Jones say the higher figure is now being put on the table because of the mounting cost of Jones' attorney's fees. Although friends of the president insist this just shows the case has been about money all along. With the May trial date looming, both sides are jockeying for position. Jones has dropped her defamation suit against Trooper Ferguson, and the judge has dismissed that part of her suit against the president. Even so, the judge has let it be known that Jones' past sex life, as well as the president's, may be open for examination. Next Saturday, Jones' attorneys are scheduled to question President Clinton, with Jones present. But apparently that deposition will not take place in the White House. Undignified, said one friend of the president's, while friends of Jones say the indignity is what he did to her, not the other way around. Expect more spinning of this story from both sides as the week goes by. Sam Donaldson, ABC News, outside the White House.
Sam may be outside the White House today, but beginning tomorrow, he's back inside as chief White House correspondent for ABC News, back where he belongs. The jurors in the Terry Nichols trial are speaking out. Nichols avoided the death penalty after the jury deadlocked in the penalty phase. The forewoman said she didn't believe the government presented the whole story. But juror Thomas Baker today disagreed. Baker told ABC News, quote, "The government did a good job presenting their case. The majority of the jurors were for the death penalty," unquote. Once again, they're talking about a deal in the Unabomber case. Lawyers for Ted Kaczynski have approached prosecutors again about a possible plea bargain that would avoid a trial and allow Kaczynski to avoid the death penalty. Last month, prosecutors turned down one offer from the defense. And there's a legal deal being worked out in Texas, this one involving the tobacco industry. ABC's Valerie Williams has that story.
This weekend in Texarkana, what could be the largest legal settlement in the nation's history is being hammered out inside this closed-down mental institution. While talks are underway, attorneys representing the state of Texas have been living in these old patient rooms. Their evidence packed into the institution's gymnasium in boxes stacked 10 feet high. Only 4 months ago, tobacco lawyers vowed that there was no room for negotiation. So why the change of heart? Well, analysts say part of the reason is the way Texas wanted to try its case, accusing the tobacco industry of violating federal racketeering laws. if state attorneys could prove that tobacco companies conspired to conceal the health risks and the addictiveness of smoking, that could triple the lawsuit's damages. A nasty trial receiving lots of media coverage could also further jeopardize a $368 billion national settlement that the tobacco companies are trying to push through Congress.
It'll be an everyday front page story, a vilification of the industry, a reminder to the public that these are very corrupt individuals and they hid the truth from the American people.
According to the Dallas Morning News, the pending agreement calls for the tobacco companies to pay the state approximately $15 billion. That's about $2 billion more than what Texas would make under a federal deal. Other details remain a closely guarded secret. But even before the terms of the Texas settlement are formally announced, tobacco lawyers are already on their way to Minnesota, site of the next big legal battle with the state. Valerie Williams, ABC News, Texarkana.
We have a correction to make. We're sorry. Last night we reported that Vice President Gore plans to start his own political action committee. We said the money would be used for his likely presidential campaign. In fact, Gore aides say the money will be given to other Democrats running for office in 1998. When we come back, the little island at the center of a big battle.
12-hour days, endless nights, no weekends to call their own. This is the stuff young lions are made of. And no headache will limit their imagination. Because this is the Advil generation. The advanced medicine of Advil is freedom from headaches, just like that. Headaches to muscle aches. Advil relieves all kinds of pain. Advil simply lets people do what they love to do.
Nothing brings Italians together like bowls full of pasta and arms full of friends. So make a little extra room at the table. It's the Olive Garden's pasta pairs, only $7.95. Just pick your favorite from our special pairs and enjoy them together. Like spaghetti with meat sauce and piping hot lasagna. Cheese ravioli with fettuccine alfredo. Even manicotti stuffed with chicken and spinach with linguine alla marinara. Pair these pairs with all the salad and breadsticks you'd like. It's pasta pairs, all just $7.95 at the Olive Garden.
Parenting is a constant learning process. What you have to do is prioritize.
Back in '88, Earl wanted to retire, spend more time with Tiger.
But Dad taught me.
I met an American Express financial advisor. Dave is a personal friend of mine to this day. We trust each other because we got a track record.
It's about making smarter decisions.
We're a team, and that's when dreams can happen.
American Express Financial Advisors.
This town counts on me. No time to get slowed down by irregularity. My doctor suggested Metamucil, the only leading brand with 100% natural fiber.
Keeps me regular gently so I can keep up.
Metamucil, the doctor's natural choice for regularity.
I shampoo every day, but my scalp still itches.
You need Scalpicin for deep scalp itch, the itch you can't wash away. A clear liquid, not a shampoo, with medication not found in leading shampoos.
The itch is gone.
Scalpicin.
A national monument is the subject of a battle this week in the Supreme Court. New York and New Jersey are fighting over the bragging rights to Ellis Island. ABC's Juju Chang on the new war between the states.
40% of Americans have at least one ancestor who came through Ellis Island. The famous immigration center may have welcomed the tired, the poor, and the huddled masses. But did they land in New York or New Jersey?
Well, my grandfather was sitting in Italy about 100 years ago trying to figure out where to come from, where to go to. He wasn't thinking about going to New Jersey.
Today, New York City's mayor continued the long-standing dispute between New York and New Jersey about which state can lay claim to Ellis Island.
Law's on our side, history's on our side, and common sense is on our side. Ellis Island has been New York since 1834.
1834 is when New Jersey gave up a 3-acre speck of land in the Hudson River to New York. Over the years, that speck grew to 27 acres with the help of a landfill.
Let's remember where that landfill for Ellis Island came from. It came from New York City when we were building our subway system, so it's our land.
But Jersey residents beg to differ.
This is New York over here. Here's New Jersey. Here's Ellis Island, right snug up against the New Jersey coast.
The island, which attracts nearly 2 million visitors a year, is clearly on the New Jersey side of the river, and New Jersey wants its fair share.
Clearly there's a historic element, but beyond that there's an economic benefit that we think our taxpayers are entitled to in New Jersey.
When you get right down to it, the dispute over Ellis Island is about money, tax money, and not just from the tourists, but from big business. There's a potential conference center and hotel, projects that could be worth millions of dollars down the road.
New Jersey should profit, should get some of the income.
It may take more than a Supreme Court decision to end this historic rivalry. Juju Chang, ABC News, New York.
In news overseas, Pope John Paul appeared close to fainting today at the start of a baptism service in the Sistine Chapel. The incident raises new questions about his fragile health. The Pope had to lean on the arm of his Monsignor, but he recovered quickly and finished the 2-hour service. The Pope makes an historic visit to Cuba at the end of this month. Another shooting overnight in Northern Ireland, and this one hits home for Sinn Féin leader Gerry Adams. Terence Enright was shot and killed outside a nightclub in Belfast. He was married to Adams' niece. A hardline pro-British group has claimed responsibility for the killing. Talks on the future of Northern Ireland are scheduled to resume tomorrow. Coming up, is El Nino playing games with the Winter Olympics?
We asked people what they thought about the taste of Campbell's Healthy Request soups. And the more people we asked, the more good things we heard. More people prefer the new improved taste of these Healthy Request soups because they're made with good things like roasted chicken and premium herbs and spices for more flavor than ever. But they're still healthy. New improved Campbell's Healthy Request. Healthy soups never tasted so good.
Ready to do something about your hearing loss? My Beltone Invisa, the hidden hearing aid, has something new, the Comfort Circuit.
Here's how it works. Our Comfort Circuit automatically adjusts to help keep loud sounds comfortable and to make soft sounds easier to hear.
I hear great, and it's still as small around as my contact lens.
Now, the Comfort Circuit in the Beltone Invisa is digitally programmable. It's like a tiny computer in your ear.
Visit Beltone today and save $100 on Invisa.
The first monuments built for the pharaohs were impressive, but unpredictable. Eventually, they designed a wider base for better balance, proving that wider is better.
The writing's on the wall with the Wide Track Grand Prix Sports Sedan. Its unique Wide Track design sets the wheels wider for better balance and monumental control.
The inscriptions still read, Ne feu ce qu'on quête ne bête.
The Wide Track Grand Prix, driving excitement by Pontiac. Wider is better.
Oh, this head cold. I'm so clogged up, I just can't focus.
You okay?
Oh, if this meeting doesn't go well, it's all that work wasted.
You gotta stay focused.
I'll find a way.
Clear the congestion with new Tavasty Caplets prescription strength. Just one gives you 12 hours of uninterrupted relief. To get that, you'd need 4 Tylenol cold pills. Tavasty clears your congestion, so you're clear-headed again. Why be congested? Be clear-headed clear through your day with new Tavasty Caplets.
In sports news, the Denver Broncos are headed to the Super Bowl. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers today, 24-21. It will be the 5th trip to the Super Bowl for the Broncos. They have never won. As expected, figure skaters Michelle Kwan and Tara Lipinski will headline the women's team at next month's Winter Olympics in Nagano, Japan. They'll be joined by Nicole Bobek.
The 3 young skaters clinched spots on the team with their performances at last night's national championships in Philadelphia. Nicole Bobek took to the ice first, soaring through the elements in her program, and moved into first place.
She has a big smile on her face.
But not for long. Tara Lipinski skated next. She was trailing in 4th place after a shaky short program last Thursday, but skated with confidence last night, nailing her trademark triple jump. But Michelle Kwan was sheer perfection on ice. In fact, when all was said and done, she set a record, pulling down 8 perfect scores.
The Olympics kick off in Nagano, Japan on February 7th. Officials have been preparing for months, but there have been a few last-minute details the Japanese didn't count on. ABC's Mark Litke is in Nagano.
As the new year began, it looked pretty bleak for a Winter Olympics site. The mountains so barren, the people of Nagano went to their shrines and temples to pray for snow. Well, apparently somebody up there likes them. This past week, Nagano was transformed into the winter wonderland it's supposed to be. The slopes are packed with skiers. Olympic officials are ecstatic.
So many people, they are exciting to the snow is coming out.
They had fretted for months over the El Nino effect, creating warmer temperatures and wreaking havoc on the Winter Games. Already being held in the southernmost city ever. Nagano is about the same latitude as San Francisco. But while the snow has come late in the season, scientists say El Nino doesn't affect Japan in a major way because Japan is not in its path.
That's not to say that during an El Nino year, Japan won't have unusual weather. It's just very difficult to link specific climate changes to El Nino over Japan.
El Nino or not, this region of Japan is notorious for its unpredictable weather, which is why, even with all this, people here are still wringing their hands. There is a lot at stake. Japan has spent a staggering $12 billion on this Olympics, including new roads, tunnels, and trains. And little is being left to chance. State-of-the-art snowmaking equipment is already in full operation. The Army is standing by to provide extra manpower. Weather patterns are being closely monitored every second of the day. And if all else fails, well, today they were back at the temples and shrines again, praying for just that little extra bit of help from Mother Nature. Mark Litke, ABC News, Nagano.
In a moment, meet a real Hollywood heavyweight.
Dilbert for Office Depot.
And if I pile enough binders on my chair, I'll have a window view.
I've got to try that.
Wow, I've never seen so much interest in our business plan.
Can I have two?
Get back to business, as crazy as it is. Get organized at Office Depot and get everything you need to run your business, all in one convenient, easy-to-shop store. Plus, free delivery on any order over $50. Business is crazy, but Office Depot makes sense.
One slice, Tony.
You got it. Oh. 2 extra large pepper, 1 with mushrooms, 2 for me.
Bayer relieves the inflammation that can cause arthritis, pain, and stiffness. Tylenol can't. And taken regularly, only Bayer can help save your life by reducing the risk of a second heart attack. Ask your doctor. Bayer, powerful pain relief, and so much more. Also try Extra Strength Bayer PM, the only nighttime aspirin.
Man, this gray hair makes me look old.
Then do what I did. Get rid of it.
You were gray? I never knew that.
No one can tell you use the remarkable hair coloring called Just for Men. Simply shampoo in, then rinse. In only 5 minutes, this unique Just for Men formula blends away the gray, actually matches your gray to your real color.
Even I can't tell what used to be gray. Thanks.
Just for Men. Looks so natural, even friends can't tell.
Monday, another day of 2020 at a new time. Think you've got privacy at work? Wait until you see what bosses are doing.
Start your week off right with 2020 Monday.
The movie Titanic is expected to cruise past the $200 million mark at the box office tomorrow. That's how much it cost to make the most expensive movie ever. Titanic led the pack this weekend, grossing almost $30 million. It has already set a number of box office records, including breaking one-day box office receipts for Christmas and New Year's Day. It's a huge success for director James Cameron. But as ABC's Robert Krulwich discovered, it's been a long road to the top.
Before he directed the Titanic, before he did True Lies, and before he did the Terminator movies, like every director in Hollywood, Jim Cameron was once an absolute nobody until he got his first big break. And for Jim, that moment came in 1981 when he was working with a small cast of Worms. The story begins when Jim was in his mid-teens and his family said, "We are moving from Canada to Los Angeles."
I said, is Hollywood near Los Angeles? And they said, we think it's in Los Angeles. And I said, let's go.
Jim loved movies. He wanted to write one, but pretty quickly he dropped out of college, gotten married, didn't have the time until he got a job driving a delivery truck from place to place to place for a local school district.
I worked out my route so that I could do it in half the time that it had ever previously been done by any of the boneheads that they had previously. So I'd do the route really fast, and then I'd coop behind some billboard and write. And I actually generated a number of story ideas that I've since used.
So he had the ideas, now he needed money, and luckily, at that moment, a group of dentists was looking for an investment that would definitely lose money, a tax shelter.
How many dentists are there at the launch?
I didn't meet with the dentist, I met with their investment guy, and one of the dentists. The other dentists were all in Utah, so they were all Mormons. Mormon dentists, Mormon dentist money. Yes, this is hey, look, money is money,
Jim would not show me, nor would he describe the 10-minute pilot he made with the dentist's money. All he'd say is it was a science fiction film that he then showed to some friends who worked for Roger Corman, who produced lots of science fiction films, and Corman gave Jim a job. Then, a year or so later, he got his big chance. Some independent producers were thinking of hiring him to direct a picture, be the boss. But first, they wanted to see him work on the set of Roger Corman's film, Galaxy of Terror.
I had to do a scene where a severed arm is consumed by worms or maggots. So it's like, okay, put in the arm, put on the worms, set up the shot, make it lit it very artistically. And, we get all ready to do it. It's like, okay, sort of cue the worms.
But the worms didn't move.
They just didn't do anything. They were unmotivated. And so I'm desperate. It's like my first shot as a director, and I'm blowing it,
What could he do? Well, quickly, he poured some methyl cellulose that conducts electricity right onto the arm. Then he cut and exposed a live wire, tucked it under the arm, and told his electrician, when I say action, put in the plug.
So these producers come walking up behind me to watch me work, and I'm sitting there, and I go, okay, roll camera, and action. And the worms all come to life, and they're crawling around, and then I say, okay, that's good, and cut. And they stop. And they're very impressed by this, They think, they scale it up in their mind. If he can do that with worms, what can he do with actors,
Well, let's see. Instead of electrocuting the actors, why not spend, $200 million and drown them? It's the same idea, really, just a little more expensive. Robert Krulwich, ABC News, New York.
Ooh, worms. And that's World News Tonight this Sunday. Here's Charlie Gibson with a preview of what's on Good Morning America tomorrow.
This week on Good Morning America, students are getting tested more than ever. Is there too much pressure and not enough learning? Plus, actors Kenneth Branagh and Denzel Washington join us on Good Morning America this week.
Also on Good Morning America, Sam Donaldson's first day back at the White House. I'm Carol Simpson. Have a good week and good night.
Monday, this federal agency is wasting your money, paying millions too much for supplies and equipment. What a ripoff. It's Your Money on ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Rosanna Arquette in a world premiere presentation.